Hello and welcome to this round 9, I think, here at GP Utrecht. Both these players 8-0. On the left of our screen, that's Yao Chosa. On the left, it's Yupan Jackie Chan from Hong Kong, and we're going to get a chance to see each of these players in action.
Yeah, I'm gonna make the pronunciation easier. I'm just gonna call him Jackie. That seems much easier. And the other one, I had a trouble pronouncing myself, but I heard he's living in England.
Yep, an active member of the Magic community in and around the London area. Also judges. I think there's actually a spelling on there. It's Yoao, so there's a Joao on the spelling on that one.
Yeah, and Jackie plays a long tusk cub while
Yao.
Yao. Okay, just plays a Thraben Inspector.
Things off here. Spyro Industry to follow up, and he's got an old school shock in hand. That's an onslaught shock.
Ooh, I like those.
Killing off Psychotog.
Yeah.
Not very often that worked out, but you know.
Yeah, true.
Kills off a long tusk cub just fine.
Yeah, I actually went through a lot of my cards and I found some old school shocks, and I was very happy to see the card reprinted.
Well, Greenbelt Rampager briefly coming down, and then second time round making it work. Evolving Wilds.
Ooh,
and
Fatal Push.
Fatal
Okay.
Push. Chosa came with removal, and you know what? He's 8-0 with it thus far. Both of these players playing to be undefeated on day one of GP Utrecht.
Chosa now needs some pressure here because he did have the removal. He does have a veteran motorist to start digging for some more cards. I would imagine he would like a land, just so he can develop his board a little further. And let's see what Jackie can come up here. He has a Verger's Gearhulk. Oh, okay. There's the red source. Because the Jund deck really went on the wayside a little bit because everyone was talking about black-green as being like the strictly better deck, but look at this. Jackie with 8-0 with his Jund aggro list. Impressive.
Yeah, I mean, one thing that this deck gains over and above what is going on with the straightforward green-black builds is it has more removal with reach associated with it.
Yeah.
You get to run shocks, you get to run, well, all manner of burn spells if you want. You can have Voltaic Brawlers in there. I've seen them in some Yun lists. And ultimately, this got Martin User to the top 8 of the Pro Tour. We don't know whether or not it's the exact same list, but Greenbelt Rampager does some pretty nifty things if it's coming into play, briefly crewing a vehicle before bouncing because you've not got enough energy. There's some cool stuff that this deck can do.
Yeah. And it's just a solid creature on the ground, can block a lot of the creatures, just like we see here. Holding off the veteran motorist and the Thraben Inspector is just fine.
Gideon, one of the options. Looks like Gideon and the Plains. How much of that staying on top? Turns out all of it, because Yao does not have the fourth land yet, but he will. Spire of Industry coming down. Thanks to that clue, keeping things going, giving him access to coloured mana.
Yeah, there's a Voltaic Brawler that was drawn by Jackie here.
Unless it's Disintegration, also an option. He doesn't currently have an artifact.
Not yet, but soon enough. Some good, powerful cards in the Jund lists. You can really put on a lot of pressure early.
Gains 2 energy with that Voltaic Brawler.
Still has a Fatal Push up, but not really a way to use that to his advantage.
No big surprise with that Plains. He knew it was on top, and that means that here does come Gideon, immediately cashing it in for an emblem. Doesn't even trouble the battlefield at any point. The Undisenchantable Crusade. Or Glorious Anthem, I suppose. Because it's all your creatures rather than all white creatures. So, big swinging coming in across here. 2 4-2 veteran motorists. Yupan Jackie Chan there just figuring out what he wants to do about that.
So he might just Fatal Push one of them. He can take 4 damage here. He's still at a high enough life total.
Yeah, all of a sudden, just by killing off one creature, he's still winning this race.
I think he was hoping to draw an untapped land here to play the Verger's Gearhulk. He still should be fine. Oh, he has Sky Sovereign in hand too.
Basically, his entire hand is contingent on the 5th land. While he can cast Unlicensed Disintegration, it's much more exciting once he has an artifact in play. For now, he's just going to content himself with getting stuck in here. No blockers apart from that one Thraben Inspector for Chosa.
Yeah, and I mean, Jackie now really in the driver's seat, because even if he won't get the damage off of the unlicensed disintegration, just leaving it up and just make sure that he'll be able to keep swinging in, keep any of the small creatures off the board. And I think Yuao will have to play a little bit slower here. Has to slow down, maybe develop the Gideon, and maybe try to find some profitable blockers.
You can see there, Yao thinking out his plays. Member of Team Axion now from the UK, all based around the Axion shop in the UK, and very active on the European GP scene, all travelling out together, and other members are pretty regular on the Pro Tour at this point.
Yeah, I've seen him around, and
it's they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
A couple of Scrap Heap Scroungers coming down here for Chosa here.
Yeah, it looks like Jackie's trying to figure out if he can have lethal here, and I think that is the case. If he goes for the unlicensed disintegration on the veteran motorist to just get it out of the way, if he draws an untapped land, and he can probably go for the kill, because the Verger's Guildhawk gives 4+1/+1 counters, and I think with the Voltaic Brawl he already has at least 7 power. So there's the disintegration. Let's see, 5th land. No, we don't get to see it. He's good at hiding his cards. Okay, another unlicensed disintegration. Not bad, but he has to worry about dying himself here. He's just going all in here.
Yeah, get the damage in while you can. No blockers, no mana untapped. Yes, he's going to be facing a relatively big swing back, but he knows that he's got at least one removal spell, and one thing that Chosa's board is not very well set up for here is blocking.
Yeah, and now Yuao has 2 ways to win. He has Gideon Emblem and another Gideon Emblem, because that will be lethal. But he also has the unlicensed disintegration, which I think is a bit of a safer play.
I mean, if he assumes that he's going to lose one creature to a removal spell here, that means that he's now attacking for 4, 5, 6.
Yeah.
Any removal spell either way is going to mean that he's not winning this turn.
Yeah, exactly.
But equally, if he's not winning this turn, he's almost certainly losing next turn, so he might as well go for it.
His creatures don't really block. He just has to decide if he wants to go for the disintegration or not. And I mean, he has to figure out what he wants to do, but I think he should just swing with everything, because this is a swing for 10. He wouldn't. I mean, on the backswing, he probably could still play disintegration and block to survive a turn, but yeah, I think he's just giving up a lot of equity to do so.
And of course, with this being a feature match, where normally if he held back and then it didn't work out for him, he would never have a way of knowing if he could have won another way. This way round, you can watch it back afterwards.
Yeah, no, I think Jackie also might have forgotten about the Gideon Emblem, didn't realize that it was 10 damage coming in. Not that he has that much to do about it, but now George is going to go for the unlicensed disintegration on the Greenbound Rampager, and we're going to go to game 2. That's a nice and fast matchup here.
These guys, it's the end of the day for them. 9 rounds of Magic is a lot of Magic, and they're going to be coming back tomorrow, each of them, to play more. You can see a shake of the head there from Yupan Jackie Chan. A different line of play. He would be able to potentially have taken that one. They're going to be going to their sideboards, though. Plenty of things going on. Yupan did forget about the emblem. And we've got Rich Hagen here to give us a little update on what's going on the floor.
Hello. So, I've just been out on the floor, just finding out a little bit more about the player on the right of screen. And someone told me a story, and I thought, you need to know about this, boys. And so does everyone at home. So here's the thing. Yupan Jackie Chan, from Hong Kong, is currently a student. He's spending several years away from Hong Kong. And right now, he's currently in Ireland, around the Dublin area. I was just talking to one of the Irish judges. And apparently, his full name is 100% unpronounceable by 90% of the world's population.
There are a lot of people in China, Rich. I think you should revise that number.
Aren't they about 10%? That's why I chose that. Maybe, well, okay.
Carry on.
Let's say non-Chinese speaking. So what he decided to do was change his name to make it easier for people in the countries that he's studying in. So for the last 3 or 4 years, he has gone by his carefully chosen Yupan Jackie Chan. And what's so fantastic about this is that he's incredibly popular around Ireland because every time someone gets paired against him, they get to scream, "I'm playing Jackie Chan!"
Fantastic.
So we don't actually know his unpronounceable full name, but that's who Yupan Jackie Chan is. And right now, he's 1 down, trying to get to 9-0. Tim, normal service may now resume.
Lovely stuff. Thank you so much for that, Rich. A little bit of extra detail from our feature match area. We have also heard that it is confirmed that Yupan did forget about the Gideon emblem, and it was only at the point that he went to write down damage that Yoao correctly pointed out, no, three more points of damage, and ultimately that was enough to seal the game.
It ultimately didn't matter that much. I mean, it's not like Jackie Chan had something to do about it.
Did he not have an unlisted disintegration in hand?
I don't think so. But he did?
I believe that he did, yeah.
Okay, he might have. I remember the Verger's Giro and the Consul.
Yeah, that was the third card.
Okay, it was the third card. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, misplay.
Oh, well.
It does happen, you know. We saw Platinum players today making some blunders here and there.
And it's just one of those things that one of the skills that makes you a great Magic player is acknowledging when you've made a mistake, learning from it, but not letting it interrupt your thought processes too much in future games. Just win the next 2 and you're 9-0. And at that point,
yeah,
it's done.
Fair enough.
Or lose the next 1. You're 8-1, which is still an unbelievable day 1 at a GP, and just come back and do better.
Yeah, so
or do the same and still make top 8.
Fair enough. I wanted to have a look at the other players that we have at 8-0 because I think we've got most of them in the feature match area, and only one of the matches that did not. Yeah, okay.
So yeah, we also have Andrzej Strajski against Gregor Kowalski. We've seen Gregor in the feature match area already on Maru vehicles. Andrzej, I believe, is energy based.
Yeah, teamer.
Samuel Vio against Rafael Dorshade. Then we have Fabrizio Campanino. We've seen a little bit of him in the feature match area, and he's up against Kirill Lupalo. All of those players on a perfect 8-0, and just one more player on 8-0, so in total 9, and that is Danny de Roy. We saw him in the feature match area as well a little bit. He's up against Oliver Hessens, who was paired up to an undefeated player on the last round of the day.
Oliver Hessens is also undefeated, but he has the draw, so he's on 22 points. But this is going to work out that we're going to have at least 4 players at 9-0 tomorrow morning, maybe 5.
Exciting stuff, and it looks like these players drawing opening hands now, just considering how they feel about them. And we're going to kick things off. Yupan Jackie Chan on the play in this second game. Looks like he started off with a Tune with Ether, and it's a Thraben Inspector coming from Yao there, bringing along a clue with it. Scrap Heap Scrounger in hand for Jackie there.
Oh, he actually started off with a Green Belt Rampager because that...
Oh, that generated the energy. Yeah,
exactly.
1 energy.
That would explain, because I was like, 1 energy? Forest? Like, how does that work? But it was actually the Green Belt Rampager.
Long Tusk Cub, the play on turn 2. And because of an Ether Hub, he's now up to 2 energy, so threatening to make it a 3-3 immediately. Long Tusk Cub plus Green Belt Rampager, you can have some fun times managing your energy with.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Another 1-drop here from Yao.
Yeah, it looks like Yao was holding off on a fatal push. Might want to wait for Jackie to invest the energy to put +1/+1 counters on the Long Tusk Cub. I like this play. I think it's going to be fairly obvious once Jackie attacks and Yao double blocks.
Alrighty, I mean there's lots of options for Jackie here. He's got Tireless Tracker that he could potentially play with his mana, though there's a temptation to wait until turn 4, play it, and then immediately play a land.
That would certainly be tempting. I think he also has Voltaic Brawl, Shock, a Scrap Heap Scrounger.
I mean, Shock and Scrap Heap Scrounger also fairly efficient. Tapping his mana a different way, though. Gets the Green Belt Rampager into play.
I like this.
Yeah.
He's just not investing the mana into the Long Tusk Cub. He's kind of anticipating probably a fatal push.
It's definitely suspicious when you see your opponent leave one mana open.
Yeah.
The Mardu vehicle's deck low to the ground enough that it can normally spend its mana on most of its turns.
Interestingly enough, Yoao has Scrap Heap Scrounger that he could play here and alongside Needle Spires, but he could also maybe try to go aggressive if one of the sources of red is untapped, which I'm not sure about. Also has the Heart of Kiran I didn't see before, and
I do like a Heart of Kiran. I mean, he doesn't currently have enough power to crew it particularly easily, but that can change in a mere moment.
I think he also has Unlicensed Disintegration in his hand.
They always have unlicensed
Right?
disintegration.
That's what it feels like.
I think that's day one of playing against Mardu vehicles. What you learn is, yeah, they've always got it. Assume that they have it, and you're going to make better plays as a result a large amount of the time. The only time that you'd want to assume they don't have it is if you can't win any other way, and then you just need to find a line that could in principle win. The double block, stymied by a shock.
Yeah.
Rhymed. Didn't even mean it to.
Of course, didn't. Yeah, and the Long Tusk Cup then gets through, and Jackie gets more energy. It going with alongside his Votay Brawl and Long Tusk Cup. That was actually fairly risky double block from Joao. I mean, it's not like he could have expected shock, but still.
So Chosa there plays Scrap Heap Scrounger, chooses not to crew and attack in with the Heart of Kiran, respecting the amount of damage that Yupan Jackie Chan can deliver with his aggro deck here. 2 mana still up for him also. The Brawler, the only one rumbling in here, because this is the one that can trade with Heart of Kiran.
Deals 4 there, putting Yoao down to 13 overall here. And it looks like Yoao has an Unlicensed Disintegration maybe land there. Okay, no 4th land for Jackie Chan. He missed again. And now Yoao can get his clues going, draw some cards. I think there's Veteran Motors that he just drew.
Yeah, there's something doubly punishing about playing Tireless Tracker and not having a land, because missing a land drop's bad anyway. But when it could be a land and a clue, and it's rough.
All right, so we're gonna see the Veteran Motorist here. I assume Yoao is gonna attack with his Heart of Kiran by crewing with the Scrap Heap Scrounger, just because then crewing on defense, creating a 5/5 thanks to the Veteran Motorist, is that much better against the Voltaic Brawler, while also being able to keep up the Unlicensed Disintegration.
All that you say, validating the fact that you're in the expert seat for this commentary. I like it a lot.
Well, I mean, we've been working as a team for quite a while, so.
It is tempting to try and get through the extra damage with Heart of Kiran, but in this case, the difference between 4 and 5, not pivotal right now at least, and yeah, the power on defense, very important.
Yeah, just it's a game trail for Jackie. At least that's going to get him a clue.
Sadly, he is in a spot where he's really looking to get up to 5 mana, because this is a list that is able to do good things with additional mana, Verdurous Gearhulk, Sky Sovereign, and so on and so forth.
Yeah. We could really see at the Pro Tour where getting to 5 mana was just so important, and because it turned out that the player who got to 5 mana first usually won, just because of Verdurous Gearhulk or the Sky Sovereign. And so getting stuck on even less than that is just utterly frustrating.
Yeah, the 5-cost threat's also immune to Fatal Push, even with Revolt, and that's something that can make the removal of Mardu vehicles a little bit more taxed.
If there's one card that I think is gonna pop onto the radar even more than to this weekend, there's the shock on the Veteran Motorist.
This forces the issue on crewing.
Yeah. That's fine. I think Jackie Chan then can easily then pass the turn. His board is growing a lot.
So you mentioned their one card.
Yes. Sigarda, Heron's Grace.
Interesting.
It gives you Hexproof as well, which can be very important against some decks. It also is a very big flyer, and plus it costs 5, so it cannot be killed by Fatal Pushes. So.
We did see Unlicensed Disintegration there from Yoao. That's one that can deal with everything.
Yeah, and the important thing with Sigard is that you and humans control, you have hexproof. That means that if you, I saw it played from Sahili combo decks
Mm-hmm.
as a way for you to not be able to be disrupted with a shock or implement, things like that, because they can't target you.
They can't target you, which means that in turn they can't burn your planeswalkers.
Exactly.
Interesting.
It's pretty sweet.
As things stand, though, we're unlikely to see that one in this game. Mardu versus Jund. And right now, it's anyone's bet in terms of life totals, but Verdurous Gearhulk.
It's going to change it quickly.
Now, that Voltaic Brawler, if you do spend energy on it, gains Trample. And, of course, Verdurous Gearhulk itself also having Trample. Meanwhile, Scrap Heap Scrounger not really blocking. Yupan Jackie Chan here laying out where he wants tokens to go. He's looking on at the amount of mana available to Yoao. Even if Yoao doesn't have much in hand yet, he does have clues to work with, so there's nothing to say that all of those counters are going to successfully land on the appropriate creatures, or the creatures he desires. So once these counters go on, all three of these creatures, when attacking, will be big enough that they can trade with Heart of Kiran.
Right, boom. That's a swing and a half.
Swings in. Is he spending any energy on Voltaic Brawler?
Right as he said it, he kind of, it looked like he remembered himself. And this is rough.
Yeah, Yoao's life total, it's going to go down here. He has at most 2 blockers. And that's if he crews the Heart of Kiran, specifically with Scrap Heap Scrounger. Cracks a clue. Needs a little help here.
Oof. I think it was an Unless Disintegration, but I saw like fragments of the picture of the card. So
I'm sure we'll find out soon enough.
Yeah, it might be something completely different. No promises. Yeah, it looks like Yoao doesn't want to lose too much of the board, but he's going to be on the end of some serious damage here. Yeah,
the life totals, while they look hauntingly similar right now, are going to look very lopsided in just a moment.
It's an Anguished Unmaking. I think he actually knew about it as well, because he when he scribed with the Veteran Motorist, I think he kept Thraben Inspector and Anguished Unmaking on top. Yeah, so that was pretty sweet. So it wasn't an Analyze Disintegration, but close enough. I'm not sure if the life totals are correct again.
Yeah, we'll see if we can get that.
I think that's,
just flipped around, yeah.
Yeah, Yoao took a lot of damage because of the Anguished Unmaking he just played, as well as a hit from the Scrap Heap Scrounger. So I think the life total should be reversed.
Yeah, there we go. Well, just lands in hand for Yoao right now. And that's a bit of a problem for him, because there are some substantial monsters on the other side of the battlefield.
Like you think.
And while Scrap Heap Scrounger for Yupan Jackie Chan looking absolutely fine, quite happy to be attacking in. On the other side of things, you are having to play things a little bit cagier. Activates Needle Spires. And there's a shock for the Needle Spires. This is a very big play.
Boom. Chum block, take 4.
All right. It's going to have to be a good draw here for Yoao Chosa here. 2 lethal creatures on the other side of the battlefield. Finds a land, scoops it up. We are going to a game 3.
Exciting.
Now, while these players are shuffling up and sideboarding, we will get a chance to jump across and just see a little bit more magic potentially. By the looks of it, on my producer, the other games already wrapping themselves up as fast as these ones have been.
Oh, we got something. I heard we got something. So let's hope there is some more, because some of the players in feature match are really good. I would love to see something of Kowalski, Strasky, and
Ask and Thou Shall Receive. They're 1-1. They're going to a deciding game. Kowalski we've seen already on Mardu vehicles. Andrei Strasky, we've not seen him in the feature match area, but from speaking to him yesterday, this was the deck that he was a little cagey about. He wasn't quite sure how confident and comfortable he was with it, but his ultimate sort of feeling was either I'm going to crash and burn or I'm going to win the GP. It's one of the two. Thus far, he's 8-0, so he's definitely not crashed and burned.
Yeah, and He likes to talk a lot.
This is true.
He makes these bold statements. Ooh, shielded ether thief. Boom.
It feels really good when you catch a shielded
Right?
ether thief.
It's
Veteran motorist, the play there on turn 2 for Kowalski. Not got an artifact yet to make his dwarf a 3/2.
yeah, the Toolcraft exemplar.
That's the one. It's been a long old day. I've seen a lot of them
Yeah.
today as well.
True. That's what you have me for.
That's one of the many reasons.
But I have failed myself today. I couldn't name Stoneforge Masterwork, one of the cards that we've seen in play, because I really didn't expect to see it. But I did expect to see a lot of Dynavolt Tower. That is exactly what Andrei Strarsky
We've
plays.
seen a ton of Dynavolt Tower. It's not a breakout performance for Dynavolt Tower because we have seen it at every level since it's been printed. But you know what? This has been an event where it has been at the top tables more than I've seen it previously.
Yeah, it looks like both players are set out well for this match. I think Kowalski has an Avacyn in hand, and also fourth land, maybe a fifth hiding there as well. I think Kowalski would have really liked to get rid of that annoying shielded ether thief, because if it, look at that, he even expends the unlicensed disintegration here without an artifact in play, just so he can get it off the board and hit for 4 damage.
He doesn't want to be giving extra energy and not as much damage to his opponent.
Yeah. Strarsky 3 mana and then 1 more tower. Oof. If he also has a shock in his hand, he does have a shock in his hand. That's going to be gross. Double tower action. Here we go.
Well, Cultivate's Caravan could come down this turn,
Yeah.
and that's going to be a nice one because it means there's an artifact in play for the Toolcraft Exemplar. Also, a little bit of extra mana to potentially play a second spell this turn. I think there is a Scrap Heap Scrounger in hand for Kowalski. But we know that Strarsky has big plans for those towers, and they involve generating 4 energy when he casts a shock.
Resolves. He wants to move to combat. Does so. Now shock on the veteran motorist, and I think the Toolcraft Exemplar is going to fall as well once he gets all those energy triggers resolved. There you go.
Yeah, you don't want Toolcraft Exemplar hanging around when there's a Cultivated Caravan around. You can quite easily jump in that caravan and ride it to town.
And this is the comfort zone for Andrei Strarsky, and I was thinking like maybe he's running out of gas, and he just drew a Glimmer of Genius, the perfect card for this situation.
Glimmer of Genius, gain 6 energy, scry 2, draw 2 cards. Just unbelievably potent.
Yeah, and just a very important card in these decks, because not only gives you the energy, but it gives you the card selection and drawing to keep you going, because the next step in playing a Glimmer of Genius on turn 4 is actually ramping up toward the Torrential Gearhawk on 6, ideally. Then again, maybe flashing back the Glimmer of Genius and just keep going from there, filling out your hand up with gas, and that's much easier when you have Dynavolt Towers going as well, keeping the board clear.
Now, Scrap Heap Scrounger is one of the more problematic creatures for these control decks because it does keep coming back. I really like the addition of Shielded Ether Thief as a way of hanging around on the board. Yes, it can spend energy to draw cards. Yes, it can generate a small amount of energy. But as a 0/4, it can just block a 3/2 all day long.
There's a 1/2. And the clue gets sacrificed immediately. Another Scrap Heap Scrounger. This is pretty good for Kowalski, though. We're talking about which cards are important in this sort of matchup, and it is the Scrap Heap Scrounger, because there's few ways to shut them down. Shielded Ether Thief being a great way to do so. But other than that, it's a problematic card because it can just keep coming back, and Kowalski will be able to play another one here.
Now, if I'm Strarsky, I'm a little concerned about the potential for Release the Gremlins. If he has both of his towers blown up, that's a relatively large problem. At some point, he can find himself a counterspell, but right now, shields are down in that regard.
Yeah.
He has Glimmer of Genius and Harness Lightning in hand, plays the Glimmer of Genius at the end of turn, gains a boatload of energy, scries 2, and a nice bit of counter magic would be just what the Doctor ordered.
Yeah, I think he found an Ether Thief, so I wouldn't be surprised if he kept that one. Not sure what the other card was. Because he does... Oh, I think it's a Verlo Virtuoso. He does have a Harness Lightning in his hand, too. Yeah, he's going to keep both. or will he? One thing I would worry about if he decides to keep both. Like the problem is that he also needs lands and some more spells, and ideally not just reactive spells, but something that can keep him going forward, like more glimmers than those Gearhawks that I mentioned. Well, that's why this decision is so hard. Okay, Attune is a great card in this spot, though.
It's an awful lot of energy coming down. Now both of these towers able to be used to shoot something down.
Yeah, while developing his land. And this is the thing we talked about all day. A lot of the pros deciding to play this Teamer Dynavolt Tower deck because it just seems so much better than the pure blue-red versions that are floating around. Just because enabling you to run the green gives you so many tools, gives you the option to play fewer lands, and you have more spells to fuel your Dynavolt Tower because of Attune with Ether. You have the Lumbering Falls, and you have the artifact removal, which was also very key for some players.
But we're hearing that our first match is going. We're going to get a chance to jump back and see the remaining game between Yao Chosa and Yupan Jackie Chan. Let's find out how Mardi Vehicles against this Jund aggro deck that we've not seen on camera until this point does.
Yeah, we're going to see plenty of Stratsky and Kowalski tomorrow as well. And ultimately, this matchup can be so swingy that we'll see the back end of that game anyway. So I really want to see how this game turns out. Jackie Chan is already preparing some Release the Gremlins action.
Turn 2, Long Tusk Cub, facing down Heart of Kiran. Is there going to be a crew for Chosa here on turn 3?
It looks like it's just a Cultivator's Caravan, leaving a double Fatal Push in his hand.
It's a nice full car park, but no one to drive just yet.
Yeah, got to find some pilots. And not even hesitating there. And if Jackie Chan is patient here, if he has some other things to play, it looks like he has a Rampager. It doesn't have. Does he have a land? I don't think he has another land.
That's problematic. I mean, he's in a spot where it's tempting to just throw down the Rampager, hold up mana for shock, given that you can see that there's 2 vehicles that could get crewed next turn. While he can't stop them being crewed, at least he can kill off the pilot after it's had one time at the wheel.
Let's see. I mean, Jackie can have Long Tusk Cub. He can play the Rampager and get a 3-4 on the board. It's just tough. He also has plenty of shocks, so I think this game is probably going to run a bit longer. It's going to start off with the Rampager, leaves up the shock mana, which is not going to do much if there's a veteran motorist hanging out. Oof, another Heart of Kiran.
So it's Heart of Kiran, land, Fatal Push in hand for Yao. Both of these players missing a key ingredient of what they want to do. Yupan Jackie Chan, he's missing lands. That does mean that as and when he finds lands, he's all action.
Yeah.
Yao, currently lands are okay. The thing that he's missing is creatures to crew vehicles.
At least there's a Shambling Vent for Yao Chosa. He can start getting some hits in.
The life gain certainly not irrelevant in this matchup.
Yeah. But once Jackie Chan starts drawing his lands, okay, Voltaic Brawl is nice at least. That puts a creature on the board. Decently sized one at that. And once he starts drawing lands, he'll be set.
Yeah, there's a strange kind of a race going on
Yeah.
here. It's
Like
as if they're in a sprint and one of them is wearing a blindfold and the other one's got their shoelaces tied together. one of them's going to figure out what's going on first, and that person's probably going to be in a good spot. Another land there for Yao Chosa.
I'm surprised. Why does Jackie Chan have 4 energy? He had 2 with the Attune with Ether, but he ate both of them with the Green Belt Rampager. So I don't think he should have 4 energy, but I might have missed something here. I don't think I have, though.
Yeah, we'll get that energy count just double checked there.
Yeah, because the Long Tusk Cub never hit. So we'll get that checked out. In the meanwhile, the impact is not that big. Look at that. Voltaic Brawl trading off with the Shambling Med. I think Jackie's plan now is just to get as much time as possible, try to survive as long as possible. Okay, they've confirmed that it's correct. Now to release the gremlins.
I mean, at least there's still Long Tusk Cub. And this Long Tusk Cub could be fairly large, what with all of that energy knocking around.
Lands. No? The heart of
A lot of shocks and a heart of Kieran.
yeah, this is as the race you described was pretty accurate. Like both players really not performing to their best here.
And not surprised to spend a bit of energy there. Making the Cub a 3-3 already good, making it a 4-4 even better. It will be able to jump in any vehicle you like, pretty much, and crew it up. Heart of Kieran being the vehicle that comes along. Another land the pickup for Yaoshok there. It is a Needle Spires, so it can attack and block, albeit at the cost of quite a lot of mana. Attune with Ether, that's practically a land.
And it's actually better than land because it gives you energy for your Long Tusk Cub.
An inauspicious last game for these guys at the end of their day.
This is a crazy game. Both players not working at their optimum, but I mean, whatever works. There's an Attune. Another mountain there. All right. We're getting somewhere.
Oh.
Flipping some cards.
Just face up, face down.
Yeah. Doesn't matter.
Bit of a triumph shuffle there.
Yeah, he's nervous. I mean, I assume Jackie Chan is fighting for his first 9-0.
I would assume so. It's the sort of thing that 9-0s do not come along all too often. Yes, there's a few people that get them every GP, but when someone starts getting more than one, you do notice.
Yeah. All right. It's creature. Okay.
Gideon.
That's a creature.
It's better than a creature in a way.
Yeah. I guess. There's a bunch of shocks in Jackie's hand, though.
Yeah, double shock. Pew pew. Done.
Yeah, and I assume we're going to see some gremlins quite soon.
There is a temptation to try and get all the way up to 5 mana to really get the value out of release the gremlins, but
Alright, so 4 mana. Gideon.
Alive Zendikar. Now, is he going to sniff out what's going on here and do the Soul Read plus? No, he's not. He's going to play out a Knight Ally token. And then spend an energy to crew Heart of Kieran and get a cheeky hit in.
Yeah. I like it.
What do you want to do, Yupan Jackie Chan? You have spells in hand. Takes it.
Yeah,
I like that.
decent enough. Yeah, I think we're going to see a shock, though. Right. So, shock your Knight Ally token. It's already has to make you are a little nervous already. Okay. Release the gremlins on the Heart of Kieran.
That means that spending loyalty to crew in order to protect Gideon gets a little bit trickier.
But he can he can animate the Heart of Kieran with the loyalty counter and then use the Heart of Kieran to crew the Cultivator's Caravan. The problem is that the Long Tusk Cub is a 5-5 already, and with 2 energy up, it threatens to be a 6-6. So, yeah. The question is if he now is willing to basically chump block with his Cultivator's Caravan. No, okay, he's just gonna... Jackie Chan plays it smart even, just cruises Heart of Kieran, goes for it immediately.
Doesn't want to fall to something like a Fatal Push there.
Yeah. Doesn't want to lose his Long Tusk Cub and anything, but Yuao just doesn't have anything here. He has another Heart of Kieran, but I think that's about it. And just a land. I just never drew anything in. Jackie Chan was the first one to draw something relevant, in his case, a land. get going.
The blindfold's coming off.
Another land.
Admittedly, not a particularly fast land for him. Evolving Wilds will be able to fetch him something, but it's going to take a little bit of time for that thing to untap.
Yeah. Jackie Chan is a little too nervous, I think. Like his hands are trembling a little bit.
He's playing for 9-0.
Yeah, I know, but it's still, it's not a top 8 match. Like, imagine if you're nervous now, how nervous you're going to be playing for top 8. But I think he's got this game from in the back. He has 5 or 6 spells in his hand while Yuawa has nothing. There's another release, the Gremlins on a Heart of Kirin.
These Hearts of Kirin, they're just full of gremlins.
Who designed them?
This bit here is where we put the gremlin pouch.
Exactly, the gremlin.
There's just a sign on it saying "Do not open."
Yeah, pretty much. And Jackie Chan's like, yeah, let's open this. See what's inside. Now he gets to also crew his Heart of Kirin. Swings in for 9 or 10 even after using the energy to pump up the Long Tusk Cub. And I think we're going to see a concession very, very soon.
Yeah, so many different big threats now for Yotressa to worry about. Draws for his turn, finally finds a creature, but I think it's too little too late at this point.
Yep.
I think that was a veteran motorist.
It was. He can like keep playing a little bit to at least make Jackie Chan play it out, but okay, Chandra's nice, but
yeah, he's not going to have the luxury of time, I don't think. He's got exactly one blocker. Actually, yeah. No, he can activate his Needle Spire, so he's got 2 blockers.
Sure. But not when we know that there's a shock still in Jackie Chan's hand. There's also the Heart of Kirin has flying, so I mean...
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to lie. he's not in great shape.
Yeah. He's basically a dead man walking.
And we mentioned earlier that in a sprint, walking is not the way to win.
Yep, exactly. And Jackie Chan even drawing in a tune with Ether, he can find a forest. I was like, yeah, keep going.
Yeah, I was like, I'm going to make you find it. I'm going to make you shuffle your deck as well.
I want to see the forest.
Cut.
Yeah. He's this is what we call milking the camera time.
Hey, you never know.
Some players just want to be in the spotlight, but with 8-1 record, you always show. So might be in the feature match area tomorrow as well. There it is.
There's the handshake.
Look how, I mean, you can see Jackie's nervous, but he's like really happy.
Well, he should be happy. He's just advanced to 9-0 on day 1 of GP Utrecht, playing Jund aggro. It's the only Jund aggro deck that we've seen in the feature match area, and able to go undefeated. We're going to get a chance to see a little bit more magic. You prophesied that we would get a chance to get back to Gregor Kowalski and Andrei Stradsky, and you were correct. Stradsky on just 6 life now, still has those 2 Dynavolt towers. Can Kowalski find a way of closing this one out?
Yeah,
only 2 cards in hand for Andrei.
I mean, this game, I predict it to go long because that's what usually happens when it's a battle of Dynavolt towers and Scrap Heap Scroungers. One player tries to use energy to stay on board, and the other one is just trying to bring them back. See Archangel Avis in the graveyard. Kowalski's out of cards himself, and facing off against a decent-ish board from Andrei, but he's down to 6. Kowalski just wants to draw a lot of unlicensed disintegrations, and we already saw him do it. He drew 4 in one game, and he lost that one.
There is a Torrential Gearhulk in hand for Andrei Stradsky, so that a big play at some point. He's got the luxury of sitting back and just playing it whenever he wants. It's got flash. He can pretty much just choose his own moment to place it on the stack.
What's going on here? So some more lands in Andrei's hand as well. Well, I mean, if Andrei gets the chance, he's going to start playing those Glimmer Genies from his graveyard thanks to Torrential Gearhulk. Unless Gregor finds a way to push through damage. Right.
Okay, so Toolcraft Exemplar triggers and is crewing up the Cultivator's Caravan. Here comes Torrential Gearhulk. Is there something even better than the Glimmer of Genius?
I don't think so. With double tower in play. Ooh, disallow. You can lock down game, but unfortunately, the one problem with that is that those cards are purely reactive. So it means that if he doesn't have that much going on, I mean, he still has that Shield Ether Thief to get an extra energy. Yeah, so he's going to gain an energy, but he's going to spend 5 to kill the Scrounger.
Torrential Gear Hulk, conveniently one toughness big enough to survive a fight with Cultivator's Caravan.
And I think he did keep both of the disallows. Yeah.
I mean, now that he's untapping, those disallows look spectacular.
And he also used 3 energy to draw a card with the Shielded Ether Thief. So that's another way to keep going. Found a natural state, now found an Incendiary Flow. I think we might see the game be over very quickly here.
Yeah, we turned up at this game just around the time that a corner was being turned, I think.
Yeah.
Once that Torrential Gear Hulk came down, Incendiary Flow, a perfect answer to Scrap Heap Scrounger. It will get exiled rather than going to the graveyard. Big attacks coming in here from Andrei Stratsky. That's 7 damage, and not going to take very much more for the Dynavolt Towers to finish it off. There's already the energy to do so.
Yeah, and he still has double disallow to counter any potential threat from Rero Kowalski, who will probably likely just bring back the Scrap Heap Scrounger and the end of the turn. I don't think he has much more going on.
Yeah, he's only got 1 card in hand.
Remember, Stratsky has 2 towers with 10 energy at his disposal, so that's 2 lightning bolts. Also,
he can almost certainly play 1 lightning bolt at the end of turn at least,
yeah,
and find the extra energy in some way, shape, or form in his hand.
Yeah, I think Kowalski just drew a Heart of Kirin, and I think that's going to be Andrei Stratsky going to 9-0 shortly. Which he's going to be very happy about. He was complaining a little about how he's not running good at GPs. I mean, he likes to complain, of course.
Well, it's a hotly contested national champion berth in Czechia.
It is for sure. There's a lot of really good players, and there's the natural state. Andre is just going to play all his cards now.
And that means that he's going to have enough energy. He can even afford to knock down some of the creatures in play.
Yep. And Scrap Heap Scrounger cannot block, so I think Andre is just going to go for the kill. He even draws an extra card that he doesn't have to. Remember, he has 2 disallows in his hand, so nothing that Kowalski can do about that. He can just counter everything. And it's like, yeah, take all the damage and take the tower shot to your face.
There's the handshake. Andrei Stratsky advances to 9-0. That is the end of our last game here from the feature match area. It's been an amazing day. I think that coming into this weekend, there are lots of people that were thinking about there's going to be snakes, there's going to be things, but as it turns out, plenty more innovation. That's the end of things here from GP Utrecht. Join us tomorrow bright and early as we got a whole lot more standard.